Berachot Perek Chet, Mishnah Bet. Short Mishnah, very, very complicated. You can see I highlighted, there's a lot of stuff here. I highlighted the Mishnah itself. We'll read the Mishnah, and then we'll see that the Machloket goes very deep into the actual issues of Tumah and Tahara, into ritual purity and impurity. So the Machloket is about what goes first. Let's say you're having kiddush Friday night. There seems to be a Machloket between the Yakim and everybody else, because the Yakim here seem to follow Beit Shammai. Nonetheless, we'll see that it's much, much, much deeper than that. Beit Shammai Omrim, Beit Shammai says, Notlim layadayim. Notlim layadayim literally means you wash your hands. Netilat yadayim, you're all familiar with the term, netilat yadayim. Litol, netila means to take the hands. Very interesting term, we'll see in a second what it means. V'achar kach mozgim et hakos. Beit Shammai says you wash first, and then you pour the kos of yayin. So we're assuming here that we're talking about kiddush, according to some Rishonim say we're talking about kiddush on Friday night. So Beit Shammai says, first you wash, and then you pour the cup of wine, and then you have a motzi right away. Beit Hillel Omrim, Beit Hillel says, mozgim et hakos. First you pour the kos, you pour the wine, and you make kiddush. And then you wash and you make motzi. Most people paskin like Beit Hillel. First they make kiddush, they pour the wine, and then they wash their hands. So first let's understand, what is this idea of notlim layadayim? Why is it called netilat yadayim? So we said it means bechitat yadayim, washing hands. And why is it called netilat yadayim? So first of all, everything I'm going to tell you is based on the introduction of the Kahati and the Gemara, but he did a beautiful explanation. So he says netilat yadayim, okay? Some say it's netilat mayim, it's the taking of water for washing the hands. Others explain that it's called netilat yadayim. That's weak, actually. It would be called netilat mayim, not netilat yadayim. Some say it's called nitila because of the natla. That's the Aramaic word for the washing cup, the natla. The washing cup that they used in order to wash their hands. Okay? Either way is weak. Probably became popular in the times of the Mishnah. Nitila, nitilatya, natalta yadayim. Very strange. The real question is, why are we washing at all? What in the world is going on? So in order to understand, why are we washing at all? So the answer really is, normally we wash for bread, specifically for bread. Why are we washing for bread? This goes very, very deep into the halachot of Tumah and Tahara. So stay with me and stay along for the ride. So we're going to come back to Tumah and Tahara anyway, so it's good to know. There are 6 levels of Tumah. The highest level of Tumah is called Avi Avot HaTumah. What is Avi Avot HaTumah? It's a dead person, right? Or a metal touching a dead person. That's a guf, a body. A cadaver is Avi Avot HaTumah. Avatuma is someone who touches or is in the same ohel of the mate. Okay? I just here put example of the person who touches the mate. A person or a kli or a vessel, okay, of those things that touch the mate, or it's a zav or a sheretz. A zav is a person who had a certain kind of a mission we talked about before, or a sheretz. Sheretz is a kind of dead animal. Depends which animal, of course. But all of those things can be av hatuma, and that can refer to people or vessels, adam or kelim. Okay, if a person touches the mate or a vessel, this pen touches a dead person, the pen becomes an av hatuma. Okay, if a person touches a dead person, there we go. You touch the dead person, you become an av hatuma. Okay, then if a person or a kli touches an avatuma, he becomes a rishon l'tuma. That's as far as tuma goes for people. Now, the way you get out of being an avatuma, you can't get out of being an avatuma, that's dead. The way you get out of being an avhatuma is only one way, it's with the para aduma. Which is why everyone who's tamei made today can't get out of it, because we don't have the para aduma, which is one of the big, big things that are preventing us from rebuilding the Beit HaMikdash. The person who touches the avatuma is called a rishon l'tuma. The way you get out of being a rishon l'tuma is you go to the mikvah. Okay, so you can get out of being a rishon l'tuma, but you can't get out of being an avatuma. How do you make something a sheni? If that person, this pen, touches ochel or mashkim, food or drink, I have my drink here, so if I stick my pen in my drink, okay, and my pen is a rishon, and it goes and touches the drink, we're going to see drink is not a good example, rishon, that becomes a sheni l'tuma. Okay, in the classic understanding, it becomes a sheni. If that drink then touches truma, the truma becomes a shlishi l'tuma, and you have to get rid of the shlishi l'tuma. You have to get rid of it. And if that truma touches something other food, which is kachim, which is an animal that I offered as a sacrifice, that becomes a revi l'tuma, and you have to get rid of that as well. So the higher it goes, the sheni only refers to ochlim umashkim, food and drink. Shlishi only refers to truma, and revi'i only refers to kadshim. What does this have to do with the tilat yadayim? So the first thing you have to understand, our hands, the Chachamim said, are sheni l'tuma. Our hands are busy. Yadayim are askaniyotem. They're very busy. Hands touch stuff. We touch stuff. We scratch. We do all kinds of crazy things with our hands. So the Chachamim made a gzeira that our hands are sheni l'tuma. Okay? But if it's a sheni l'tuma, then what are we worried about? If my hand is a sheni l'tuma, I'm afraid I'm going to touch truma. We don't have truma, so why do I wash? So the Gemara says, No'lim layadayim, this is the Mishnah in Chagiga, l'chulin u'lema'aser u'letruma. It's normally for ma'aser and truma, but specifically for truma, but nonetheless the gzeira applies to chulin as well. Yes, that's right. The whole reason we wash for bread, and it's specifically bread, is so that we shouldn't forget the idea that there's truma. Remember to think about that next time you wash for bread, or anything, and next time you wash for bread. Okay? That's all fine and good for things that are dry. What about things that are wet? So there's a Mishnah in Parah that says, Kol posel et truma. Wet is posel truma. Metame, so if I'm posel truma, so what's posel truma? We said, a sheni l'truma. So if it's sheni l'truma, it's posel truma. Metame et hamashkin liot chila. If it becomes wet, something, anything wet becomes, metame liot chila, becomes a rishon l'tuma. This is the magic Chachamim had, okay? That, if something is wet, they were worried that a person might intermingle wet rishon l'tuma with the rok, the spit, or the emissions of a zav, which is an av hatuma. So you wouldn't know if it's av hatuma or rishon l'tuma. So something, any liquid, if it touches something tameh, it can make it a rishon. And that's where that's where things come in here, okay? That back to our Mishnah. Again, just to get this straight, if your hands are wet and they're a sheni plus wetness, and I touch something, makes it a rishon. Okay? That's the gzeira of Chazal, because we were afraid that maybe the liquid was an ab. How does that bring us back to our case? So how does that bring us back to whether do I wash before I make kiddush or do I not wash before I make kiddush? So the Gemara explains like this. Stay with me here. It really is very complicated. Here I have my kiddush. And we see in my kiddush cup, the image is courtesy of Getty Images. We'll give credit. I found it on Google Images. Okay? Oh, it's spilled over. So now, if Beit Shammai said the following. There's a rule, okay? If a kli, a vessel, is tameh on the outside, the Gemara says, everyone agrees, outside is tameh, but what's inside is okay. But Beit Shammai says, listen, if I touched my wine glass, maybe some of it would spill onto my hands. And remember, I didn't wash yet. So if I didn't wash yet, my hands are sheni l'tuma. But now the kli is, now my hands are going to become wet, and they're going to make it a rishon l'tuma. So my hands are going to become tameh, and therefore I can't make a bracha. Okay, so therefore I have to wash my hands first, because if the kli is tameh, and it's going to make my hands tameh, therefore it's going to make my hands tameh. So therefore I have to wash my hands first. So therefore, if I touch the wetness, the wine that's behind if I wash the wine that comes on the outside of the kli, nonetheless, still, my hands just will become tahor because I washed already. Beit Hillel says, okay, I'm allowed to use a kli that outside is tameh. He says, I'm not worried about wine spilling over. So therefore, if I wash beforehand, my hands might still be wet. And if the kli was already tameh, then the hands plus the wetness on the hands touching the cup are then going to make my hands tameh again. So the question is, in the end, am I afraid of wine spilling over onto my hands from inside the glass? Because according to Beit Shammai, that would be a problem, so therefore it's best to wash first. And Beit Hillel is not afraid of wine spilling over, so therefore he says, well, if I wash first, my hands are going to be wet, and then the outside of the kli might already be tameh, and that would make my hands tameh again. Okay? I understand, this is very, very involved. I also want to add one more thing. According to Beit Hillel, you first pour the cup, you pour the cup, then you make kiddush, and then you wash. According to Beit Hillel, you're washing right before you make the motzi. According to Beit Shammai, you're washing, then you're making kiddush, and then you're making the motzi. So there's an interruption, of course, of kiddush between the washing and the motzi. And you wouldn't have what's called tekaf, the netilah, achila. You wouldn't be eating right after you washed your hands for the bread. So that's another reason why Beit Hillel says that you first make kiddush, you pour the wine, and you make kiddush, and then you make Netilat Yadayim. All this is very, very involved, very, very involved. And if you're confused, it's very confusing to me as well, okay? And you should go over to and listen to it again about what the concern is, whether you can have you're allowed to use a kli that outside was tamei, but inside is not tamei, and the machloka between them. I find these dinim fascinating because what they show us is the level of awareness and the level of concern that people had to have for all of the dinim of tumah and tahara, of purity and impurity, for everything that they ate. And you see the times of Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel, this had really ramifications of halacha l'maaseh. Do I wash first? Do I not wash first? Now my wife asked me a question, we were discussing this, and she had said, okay, so why did the Yekim seem to pass on like Beit Shammai? It's a great question, but this is a mission share, and I'm already almost at 11 minutes. So we'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, rspolter@gmail.com. Have a great day.